first thing I thought, right? The Charlotte Hornets signed Gordon. Actually, you know what? The Charlotte Hornets drafted LaMelo Ball, right? And I don't agree with it at all. Like, whatever's right. But I gotta say, I love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is at least, top two, right, of my favorite sports athletes of all time. NBA athletes, right? Basketball athletes, right? On a given day, it's between him and Kobe Bryant, right? I love Michael Jordan. He was one of my heroes growing up. But Michael Jordan is the Michael Jordan of bad owners in the NBA.
You gonna do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
I mean, I think that's what Max Kellerman said before. Like, dude, for the amount of greatness he exudes on the basketball court, dude, it is reflected in the front office too. The amount of just trash decisions being made for the Nets. I mean, the Hornets, right? Like, dude, like, unbelievable. I mean, dude, he's been with the Bobcats for a while. I mean, Michael Jordan basically had the worst NBA team ownership-wise in NBA history, where like the Bobcats were like the worst team, like by all metrics, right? It was so trash. And I already forgot who they even drafted that year. Did they draft, MKG, Gilchrist? Michael Kidd Gilchrist? Did they draft him that year? I mean, that was trash. He is super bust, right? It was ridiculous. And, he just hasn't been making good decisions whatsoever. That Nicholas Batum signing, I'm like, dude, that was trash. Lance Stevenson was trash. They signed Terry Rozier. That was trash. They drafted, Frank the Tank and then Cody Zeller. I mean,
am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Dude, these are just trash after trash decisions, right? And then they got Mitch Kupchak up as the GM, right? Now, Mitch Kupchak is, seen as kind of on and off when it comes to Lakers, right? I mean, for me, I feel like he did his job, right? I mean, he was under Jerry West. He was part of, when Jerry did the three-peat Lakers and then Jerry left and he took over, right? He traded for Pau Gasol and, he made the team that repeated with the Lakers, right? And then, Jim Buss came in, kind of hampered, Mitch Kupchak in a way where it's like, dude, we need to compete now. So he signed Mozgov, right? Y'all remember that, that edit with Mozgov? It was like, he scored like 99 points in like, I don't know, it was like 10 minutes. Like, it's some bullshit, right? There's some error that I'll never forget. And then they signed Luol Deng, right? I wanted Luol Deng like 4 years before he signed with the Lakers, right? And then you see him on like the Heat or something. Like he was kind of semi-washed, and when he got to the Lakers, he was super washed, right? And dude, he pulls out this signing with Gordon Hayward. I'm like, dude, what the hell what is Mike doing? Like for me, if I was, the owner for the Hornets, right? And LaMelo Ball went to me. Like LaMelo Ball, in my opinion, like I could be wrong. I think he's the most bust
Well, like I said, my sons are like phones. I keep making them better and better.
candidate of all these, like, top rookie prospects, right? Like nothing about him like exudes me as like I'm not really impressed with like this dude, like potential wise and what he's done on the court, right? It's like with the Lonzo Ball hype back then when he was on UCLA. I'm just looking like, dude, like so what? Like this dude does not he has red flags. Like Lonzo Ball had red flags. Like, dude, he can't like his offensive mechanics are just bad, right? And you know, in the NBA, in this kind of NBA, right, you need some good basketball offense mechanics, right? And what is this, like his 4th season? Like, dude, Lonzo Ball is still correcting his offensive mechanics, dude. And he's looking to be kind of injury prone right now, it seems like. I mean, this guy seems to always get injured. I don't know if it's because of his core or something, but you know, that's another topic. But you know, if I was the Hornets, I would have traded down. I know the Knicks, there was rumors that the Knicks were willing to part with like their 8th pick and RJ Barrett too, or Mitch, you know, Mitchell Robinson, right? Dude, I would have traded with the Knicks for that, right? If I'm able to get RJ Barrett, and then on the 8th spot, I would have drafted like Killian Hayes, or actually no, Killian Hayes got picked like, you know, on the Detroit Pistons. But if I were to get like I don't know, like whatever, like Tyrese Halliburton or whatever, these like point guards and stuff like that, dude, like I'm all for it. The Hornets need as much talent as possible, right? I mean, Devontae Graham's good and all, but this is all he's gonna be, in my opinion, right? Dude shoots 40% from 3. Okay, yeah, I think he attempts like 8, you know, attempts per 3, if I remember correctly. It was some high number, but he also shoots like 40% from 2, right? So that's the duality of the NBA today, right? Where people are favoring the 3-point, you know, shot. But I mean, dude, come on, Mike. You drafted LaMelo Ball, all right, whatever. You know, you're willing to take a risk, but you signed Gordon Hayward, $120 million for 4 years, and the goddamn cherry on top of it is also stretching out Nicholas Batum's contract, which doesn't even make sense, right? Like, did you want Gordon Hayward that bad that you were willing to give this dude like $40 million, like per year? I mean, you think about it, like Nicholas Batum's old, like I think like it's 18 million, right? It would have been expired the next season, so he's off the books, right? You stretched him out for the next 3 years, meaning is it 18 million or is it 27 million? Because you stretched it out and you give yourself room for like 9 million. It's basically, you know, seen as Gordon Hayward's paid 30 million a year, and that 9 million space that you stretched out for Nicholas Batum, you basically just add that 9 to Gordon Hayward's contract, and it's seen as like 40 million contract. I mean, like, dude, what are you guys doing? I mean, I understand that, you know, the Hornets are not going to attract free agents whatsoever. You have to overpay, right? I understand that. Overpay and stuff like that, right? But to overpay to the extent of, you know, a Gordon Hayward, right? He hasn't even looked the same since his injury, and he's always been injured every season after that. So I just don't understand the move. Like, you know, let's just play devil's advocate, right? I'm pretty bad at that, you know, like I'm pretty off on this contract, but let's just play the devil's advocate. You know, what are the good things, right? So the good thing is, you know, Gordon Hayward averaged like 17 points. Like he'll give you like 17, 5, and 5 as a 4th option on, you know, 45, 38, and like 80. Something like that. In the range of that. He gives you great numbers as a 4th option. So now you're expecting him to be the number 1 option or the number 2 option, right? Whoever's the number 1, he has to be the number 1 option either way, because he's better than everyone on the Hornets team either way, right? So let's say he is the number 1 option again, when he was putting up 22 points on like, I don't know, I think he was putting up like 45 to like between 45 to 48% from 2 and like 38 from 3, right? So it's in that range of his Utah, stats, right? You're expecting him to put those kind of numbers as well as playing, 3-and-D defense and stuff like that. So, he's like 30 years old. He'll be off the contract of 34, and it'll be the time we got to pay like LaMelo Ball and stuff like that. So I understand it. He gives veteran presence. He's a shot creator. He allows pressure off the young rookies that the Hornets have, right? I'm not even big on the rookies either way, right? That the Hornets have. They have PJ Washington. They have the Miles Bridges guys. Like those guys just seem like role players to me. So they're not like all-star prospects, right? Like say what you want about LaMelo Ball. Like, I can hate on LaMelo Ball all day, but he is an all-star prospect, right? Like the goal for the Hornets was to tank for next season again to get more talent. But, the problem with Michael Jordan is like the dude is so competitive. Like he just hates losing, right? So he will interfere in a way where, he wants to like, make pushes for the playoffs. Because in his head, he thinks, more experience for his players, like, they'll always get better. Because once, playoff, they play more games, you get better, right? I mean, that's the theory. And Michael Jordan hates tanking. Like he feels like, the culture of tanking is bad and stuff like that. But, the problem with that thinking is Michael Jordan's emulating his thoughts on the Hornets. Like the Hornets the players that they have, they don't give a fuck, right? They don't care about basketball as much as Michael Jordan does. And, I do wish the success on the Hornets, right? Because you would still be able to see Michael Jordan in the NBA in some kind of capacity when it comes to like watching like them play basketball, right? But you won't really see Mike a lot because the Hornets are trash. So, his way of thinking is like, it's like that problem with Magic Johnson and Lonzo Ball again. Like he's giving you advice of like, like ball placement and passing to Lonzo Ball. Like he sees, and the problem is Lonzo Ball's like, dude, like what are you talking about? There's like that difference of basketball IQ, vision, and everything, right? That he's trying to emulate to him. But dude, the amount of pressure and insight you're giving, from your point of view will be totally different because you're an all-time great and you're a legend, right? You're a legend for a reason. And these kids are basically on the come up trying to get to your level. So it's just it just doesn't work, right? So that's why the best approach that the Hornets should have done was do what OKC is doing, is accumulate as much picks as possible, take back contracts, but also get as much picks so you can keep on accumulating more and more talent. That's what the Hornets are lacking. It's just talent, right? Like I know PJ Washington, Miles Bridges. I've seen like stuff where they're pretty good on defense when it comes to perimeter defense and stuff like that. I've seen Devontae Graham. Yeah, he's good, but you need great talent in order to win the NBA. I mean, it's just that simple. And you need to, have as many shots on the lottery as possible. And that's just that simple. Michael Jordan, he doesn't want to lose. And that's always been his, his problem is that competition addiction where he just doesn't want to lose. But, he's feeling, kind of helpless in a way where he's not the one contributing to the winning and losing physically. He's contributing the losing to it, from a how should I say this? From the front office perspective, where he's using his mind and basically in this decision instead of his body. And I just don't get it, dude. Sometimes, like, dude, like, come on, bro. You had a good thing going, and then you just mess it all up. So, all in all, I gotta say, Hornets. Like, I do hope, Gordon Hayward does, do well. I don't believe it's gonna be a Nicholas Batum kind of contract where Nicholas Batum signed it, and he was just trash. Like, he was good in like the first season, and he just fell off. Right? I think it was because of injuries and stuff like that. But other than that, like, so what? Right? Hornets, like, dude, you need to relax, right? I feel sorry for the Hornet fans. Like, dude, you see them all like, depressed and all that. Like, what the hell is Mike doing? I'm saying that as well. What the hell is Mike doing?